Today I'm going to talk to you about the strategy I use to pay off hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. So debt at a high level, something you're going to see is APR, so your annual percentage rate. That is the yearly cost of borrowing money from whoever it is you're borrowing. So the example is $1,000 at 10% APR is about $100. And this does compound. And what that means is, let's say you borrowed $1,000, you missed your payment, you had to pay $1,100 now as you're adding the 100. Next time around you miss another payment, it's not just charging you on the 1,000, it's charging you on the 1,100, so the total value. And that is where you can get in a lot of trouble. Bank rate calculator, I will leave a link for that. That is amazing. There's a couple of these other here that I will leave. So credit card APR, extra mortgage payment, just links that I found really useful to help me understand if I made extra payments towards my mortgage or if I had credit card debt and how to handle it. It really just helped me visualize and see what I was getting into. So those are awesome. And then Dave Ramsey, there's a thing called the debt snowball. I will leave a link to that as well. It's just the way he thinks about tackling debt. And I've used kind of a mix here. So my goals were focusing on the highest percentage and lowest amount first. And I followed the Dave Ramsey strategy, which was the debt snowball. So I'll lay out a couple forms here of loans that I took out. So mortgage amount $300,000, 5.2%. The term was 30 years or 360 months. And your down payment 20% or $60,000. And the payment on that is about $1,328 a month. Your total cost of that loan, so I'm getting a loan out for that, is $478,175, and the total interest, if I just paid it on the on the monthly, so if I didn't do any extra payments, I'm going to pay $238,175 in interest on that house. For a car, the amount was $40,000 borrowed at 6.5%, 72-month term, down payment 0. So your payment's $672.40 a month. The total cost of that vehicle is going to be $48,412, and my total interest is $8,412 on that. And then student loans, so the amount is $100,000, 6.3%, term 10 years, and my payment is $1,137. Total cost $136,000. So although it was $100,000 that I paid, your interest is $36,440. And then credit card debt here is $7,000 is the payment, APR 22. Typically you'll have a term, so 30 days to pay. So your payment $198, total cost $12,193.19, and total interest is $5,193. So at a high level here, I went and just started focusing on where's my biggest debt load and where can I start getting small wins. So that's the debt snowball strategy. I just went for small wins. I wanted no credit card debt, so that was one of the first things I went off of, just because the APR is so high. If you miss payments, that really, really hurts. And then the next things I started tackling, I went for my car, just because that was a smaller loan amount. And then student loans, so these were kind of mixed, went after both of those. And then lastly, on the mortgage, I just made extra payments, even if they were small, a little bit towards the principal. That's something I'm going to call out. Make sure you're paying towards the principal. You're not just making an extra payment. The principal is the loan amount you took out. So let's say it's $300,000 was your loan amount. It's going directly towards that with no interest. So this is the strategy I use. Pretty simple, but just something I kept track of in a sheet. And it really helped me just understand where I was at and then tackle all this debt and become debt free. Thanks for watching.